Man, I love playing arcade games. Oh, but how can I play them at home? Ooh, that's what we can talk about today. Playing arcade games at home.
Okay, so Rob, what is all of this?
And I've been looking at this a while, and I don't see anywhere to put this quarter.
You're supposed to put it right there, so you got next.
I don't think your kids are this tiny.
So today what I wanted to talk about is, as you guys know, I'm a gamer, and I love to relive...
Wait, hang on. What? I don't feel like this is established
Look
at
at
all.
this shirt! This is not based on the comics. So I'm a gamer, and I love the concept of playing arcade games at my house. Like, you know, because back when I was a kid, the Nintendo couldn't accurately play arcade games very well. The Super Nintendo was closer, but there ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Now, it is several years later, and all these companies have decided that they wanted to prey on my emotions and release small arcade cabinets.
That's called capitalism.
I mean, basically, get you in the fills and the wallet.
Yeah.
And my wife is super thrilled about all this because the house is just being filled with these small arcade solutions. So what I want to talk about today was solutions for building an arcade at home. I'm going to start with the smallest thing and go to the biggest.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing up, this is Galaga. Thank you, Vanna. It is by a company called Tiny Arcade.
Okay, so it is the keychain. I was wondering if it was like, because I've seen little keychains at like Cracker Barrel. No, I have.
I don't know if that is at Cracker Barrel. It might be.
They have everything in Cracker Barrel.
That's true.
Everything.
That's true.
It's the South.
And great sorghum, too. Anyway, so these are cool. There's a bunch of different versions of these. I brought the Galaga one, but there's also a Tetris, and it's completely playable. Go ahead and knock yourself out, Dan. There's Galaga, there's Miss Pac-Man, Tetris, Centipede, I think. There's a bunch of games, and they have authentic art on the side, and the gameplay itself is not perfect, but it's extremely tolerable. It's fun to play.
It's better than the little arcade versions that we had when we were younger, where it's just a bunch of lights.
Yes, it's much better than that hot garbage that we were used to. Go ahead, Dan. Won't you play?
Hey, Dan, we're doing a show.
No, it's fine. So
I'm sorry, what?
These kids and their newfangled technology.
So these things aren't terribly expensive. I think the Miss Pac-Man was on sale for like $10 on Amazon the other day, but they generally go about between $15 and $20. They're pretty inexpensive. And again, they're cool. They fit on a keychain. They're absolutely playable. They're fun. They're nice. Nice color screen. I like them.
Kind of a nice eyepiece. I would never like actually hook it up to my keys though, because I feel like I would just wreck this thing.
Have you all seen those arcade on a watch things?
No.
I had one, and it was like asteroids or something, and it was huge, but it was so awesome. I'm going to see if I can find it. We'll take pictures of it. So another solution, let's go up a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. I think these are by My Arcade. They are sold at Walmarts all across the nation. They are about, I bought this one super cheap. It was like $7. $7.
What's Cubert?
Cubert. There's several.
Oh, no, he's been around forever, and my mom spent half my childhood trying to beat Cubert.
Really?
Like,
Oh
go
my-
away, I'm playing Cubert.
Cubert. Ugh.
So I'm glad everyone here knows what Cubert is. Now, the unique thing about Cubert is it wasn't an up, down, left, right. It was a diagonal.
Yeah,
And so playing
I
it,
remember.
Yeah, it
don't
got
sound super
really
thrilled.
annoying.
so like emulation is difficult to do with this game. So if you have like a big arcade stick or whatever, you have to rotate it or take a control pad and rotate it to play it right. But this actually, they did that for us. So like it's pretty authentic, especially for $7. And so they have a bunch of others. There's like Joust. That's not two-player Joust.
Okay, I've seen a bunch of these. Yeah.
There's Joust and a bunch of other cool games. And like I said, they're not that expensive. These also have a pretty decent experience. Ooh, I turned it off. Oh, Jay, look, it comes back on. Yeah, authentic Cubert experience.
So you die after 2 hits?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, I was sitting there playing it for a while when he brought it out. I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
There you go. I like how it keeps. When I was a kid, I used to draw like Cubert, and there's volume controls too, so that's neat. I used to draw like Cubert, try and draw the squares and stuff. It was just fun. It's like math. Anyway, so this is a little bit bigger, a little bit more playable. The emulation is not perfect. Again, it's passable. Joust is pretty authentic. This
Okay.
one is pretty authentic. Some of the others are pretty authentic. Like, it's fun. There's like Burger Time. There's Rampage. Yeah, like there's a lot of cool games.
This one looks old.
Retro.
So this is why I tell my children, take care of your toys, because one day you might film an episode about them.
Right?
So Coleco, not ColecoVision, but Coleco, they made a line of these way back in the day, back when I was like 6 or 7 years old. They made Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Q*bert, Frogger, and a bunch of others. And my tabletop from my childhood, still here and it still works. It doesn't work today because it requires 900 D batteries. Who has D batteries anywhere?
Yeah.
But it uses the old not even LCD, like this old like LED, like
where it's like a bunch of images stacked
Yes,
and it
bunch
just
of
lights
images,
up in a pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the game itself, like, you know, me as a 6-year-old, I thought it was amazing because I could play Donkey Kong wherever I could go.
So this is
Right.
like the first Tiger game.
Yeah, yes, think like Tiger, except like color instead of black and white LCDs. And it's legit, it's pretty cool. And somehow, like, you know, the art's mostly intact. The top here, sorry about your quarter there. The top here, you see that it's been ripped off. That was not me, that was my daughter when she was very young. And she was like, look how far I can peel it back. I was like, what are you doing? So, like, comparing this to an actual Donkey Kong, Coleco did a very good job of like the colors and the art and the scheme. The gameplay is pretty close. Like, it actually goes left to right. It has the rivets level and the regular level and stuff. So these old ColecoVision or Coleco tabletops, if you can find them, they're pretty daggone cool. Now they've gone up a little bit in price. So I think they're like $50, $60, $70 used on eBay.
I mean, you spend that much in batteries for it.
Yes,
Yeah.
tell me about it. 14 Ds not included. And I don't mean breasts.
All right, I want to know what this is.
Well, before I talk about this one, there's one level up higher that I did not bring with it because I don't have it. A company called Kade. They make one that's even bigger. Not quite as big as this, even bigger. And it is all about authenticity. So the Centipede one is the coolest one that I think I've seen. So again, it's about the yay tall. The emulation is basically perfect. The parts, and there's a trackball. It's like, it is catered to people like me who want something as arcade authentic as possible, and it looks exactly like what Centipede looked like back in the day. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have it here, but that feels like it would be a more ergonomic size.
Yes, it's a
Right.
bit
Is
more
it-
like.
Is it built as like a cabinet or more like a tabletop?
It is like a cabinet. It looks like someone took an actual Centipede and shrunk it down. Cool.
Okay,
So like,
cool.
even there's like a coin door and things like that. It's pretty dope. But to get this dopeness, you have to pay $150 some, which I'm just not willing to do.
That's a lot of money
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
for Centipede.
For Centipede. Whoa! I guess that's the thing.
It has to be a game that's worth it for me.
Right.
You know, I think.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild's an arcade game, yeah, totally. And Maddie, you're absolutely right. The reason that I got like Galaga, the reason I got Q*bert is because I've told you all like childhood stories about these games.
Yeah.
So I think it really appeals to me, which is why I want to move into this. This is Pac-Man. I'm going to do an unboxing. Who has some unboxing music? It's pretty good. Pretty good. So this is really neat. I just complained about spending $150. This thing's about $150.
That's all the things in that box?
So you
What
get
did
a coin. You get a coin, a commemorative collector's edition coin.
Oh, I thought it was like something like you put it down and it only starts with the coin.
Oh, that would be really
And
cool.
just
Like
this
an
coin.
NFC
Just
thing
this
on
coin.
it. That'd be really cool. No.
That'd be too cool.
And you would
Then you
absolutely
lose
lose
you.
it.
Yeah. Be like, well, I'm screwed.
Plastic bag. All right, let's get this out.
This is
Right.
live entertainment, folks.
Is that it?
So this is a little bit bigger.
Oh, cute.
This is made of real wood.
Real wood.
Real wood.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
It's
And
fun.
it actually has I think it has battery, so I think it's
Oh,
charged.
it lights up. That's cool.
Yeah. So there's a marquee. So like, you know, it's illuminated.
Right.
Just, like I said, real wood, real trim, coin slot. Yeah, put your coin right there. And the emulation on this is absolutely perfect. So if you memorize the patterns of when you played Pac-Man back in the day, like, you could totally go do that with this. I don't think there's a volume control, so maybe I shouldn't play the game on camera, but
Why is it loud?
it's pretty loud. Go ahead. Oh my god.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. So
Leave it on.
Yeah, this is really cute. I think, you know, for me, wanting to get something like this, like, it has to
turn
be.
it on.
has to be a game that I really like, but also I think a lot of like aesthetics. Like I really like to buy things now. If it's going to take up space where I live, it needs to also add to the ambiance and the look of whatever room it goes into, especially a collector's room.
Yeah.
I really think about that a lot because we all have limited space.
Yes.
See, this is very cute. I think you could go into your house anywhere. I'm thinking of like, okay, let's design a living room. All right, so we can put this right here on the side table for when you have guests. This is great. This is so cute.
Yeah, I really like this. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Why would I spend $150 on this and not Centipede? When this again, this is a different company. This is by Numskull, and they have a few of these that are coming out. Miss Pac-Man is coming out, Galaga, Tempest, a couple other games. And again, they really, as you can tell, focus on recreating the arcade experience with the emulation of the game and the look and feel of the cabinet. And like I said, this is real wood. I know I keep harping on real wood, but marquee, the whole nine.
I mean, it's nice. Like, I would spend $100 on that.
Yeah. And the other reason I really like this is exactly what you had talked about. I have nostalgia for like the first arcade game I played the snot out of when I was that tall was Pac-Man. So this art is ingrained in my head.
So, all of these things that you've shown us are classic 80s, like early 80s arcade games. When do I get that in a tiny thing? No, seriously. Are there any of those games, like the X-Men, the Capcom games? Are there any of those that they're getting this treatment, or has it just not gotten that far yet?
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you brought this up because that's actually the next level of height we're going to get into. So I may have talked about in passing with you guys, and I'll show footage. I couldn't bring it here. A company called Arcade 1-Up has made 3/4 size.
We've talked about it before, yeah.
Yeah, I think I may have mentioned it. And you talk about Capcom games. They recently released, and there's a bunch of these. So some of the arcade games are Pac-Man and Super Pac-Man. That's one cab. Galaga and Galaxian's another. The one that I have is Street Fighter. So it has the Street Fighter 2 side art. And I love Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Like, I love all Street Fighters. But Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, it was my favorite Street Fighter. So the fact that it has that side art and it has that game, it has Super and Super Turbo on it. So 3 Street Fighter games, one package. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's authentic. It has, like, you know, the round bezel art, the instructions. It doesn't have the light up marquee, but it has authentic, like, real joystick and buttons and stuff.
I really wanted the Joust one.
Yeah,
My wife was like, no.
So, like I had to jump on that. Now, you were talking about Capcom, another cabinet. And then again, there's more than just that. Most of these games come with like 3 or 4 of these. They also released an Atari one that has like a trackball and a spinner on it. And that one had 12 games. So things like Crystal Castles and Tempest and Major Havoc and Asteroids and Centipede were on that cabinet. And that was really nice. And like again, it has 12 of them. But recently, Arcade 1-Up has been producing a few more there. There's one that I had to get. I just had to get. Final Fight. Final Fight art's on the side. And Final Fight's a great game. It's 2-player co-op. When kids come over to my house, my kids or my nieces and nephews, not random kids.
Are your kids not normally at your house?
Random kids come to the arcade.
Move along.
So, everyone, like me, I grew up with my younger brother and I, we were competitive. So, like, you know, I never thought about, hey, maybe people don't want to fight each other. Maybe they want to play games together. Immediately, when they saw Final Fight, everyone's like, let's play Final Fight. And they just go through the whole thing. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. So this unit has Final Fight on it, Ghosts and Goblins, 1941, and Strider. And it's freaking fantastic, right? So I had to put money down for that. Now, as I talk, you might figure my wife is getting more and more angry because the house is filling more and more of these cabinets.
These are not small.
No, they're not small. You were talking about other Capcom games. Arcade 1-Up just announced at E3, they announced a Marvel Superheroes one that includes, X-Men, Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, and the Punisher, like, beat-em-up game. Like, oh my gosh, I need that too because I love those games. And Marvel vs. Capcom is one of my favorite games. Now, it's not the versus games, but it's still like Marvel Superheroes is a great game. They announced Mortal Kombat 2. So Mortal Kombat 2 Art, which was my favorite Mortal Kombat. So it's Mortal Kombat 2 Art. So Raiden. It's on the side. And it includes Mortal Kombat 1, which is hot garbage. Mortal Kombat 2, which is a great game. And Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which is a pretty decent game too. Now, the problem, Dan. Again, I have no room in my house for these things. You said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
I was begging and pleading, please someone release Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I have like an X Arcade, which I'll talk about in a minute. And every time we play Teenage Mutant Turtles, it's only just 2 people. And people always complain, oh, it'd be Donatello or whatever. They want to play 4 players. It's not a thing. We've never been able to play 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Until Arcade 1-Up announced in September, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Teenage Mutant Turtles in Time is coming. 4 players. It's gorgeous, and I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I don't care. I'm gonna put it in the kitchen or on the kitchen table, on the sink. It doesn't matter. I'm buying it, and I'm probably get divorced. And I can't wait for it.
And those aren't, if I'm remembering right, those are not that expensive. Like they're the same. They're like 150, 199.
No, these currently on sale. Street Fighter is $199.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but
I was thinking like 2 something.
well. The manufacturer suggested retail is $299, but they often go on sale. Like Pac-Mans and stuff have been $190. I've even seen them as cheap as $150. Final Fight, it starts at $299. This 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Turtles in Time is going to be $349. So I don't even know where I'm going to find $349. Maybe I'll find some Walmart coupons or gift cards. Hey guys, send me some gift cards so I can buy Turtles and Turtles in Time. Yeah, it's going to be for the channel. That's it.
You write it off on taxes.
I'll write it off on taxes. That's right. So Arcade 1-Up is the other solution for how to get an arcade at home. The units themselves are great. The buttons and joysticks aren't perfect. They're not arcade perfect. The newer units have better buttons and they're closer to an arcade experience, but they're good. I can do most of my Street Fighter combos and things like that when I'm playing this game. And things like Final Fight, you just do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, very cool solution. A little bit of money, $2.99 to get things done, but it looks cool. There's 2 more levels if that's not enough for you. 2 more levels. One that I'll talk about briefly because it's not shady. It's not shady. It can be, but it's not.
Anything that starts with it's not shady.
It's not shady.
It's shady.
I mean, you go to the back of a truck.
There's a dude.
And these
He's
games
got this board.
fall.
He's hacked it, and then he's put it in a cabinet for you.
Yeah.
So there's a company called X Arcade.
Okay.
And they released something that's called a tank stick, and I have one of these, and you all seen the tank stick. It has a trackball in the middle, and there's 6 buttons and actual authentic buttons and authentic joysticks. So you can do all your Street Fighter combos and things like that. If you go buy an X Arcade now, I think they're on sale for $199 or $249. Normally $249, they're $199. They come with like 250 like main games, arcade games that you can play. So if you want to play something awesome like Street Fighter or Rastan, you could totally do that like legit. Like you actually get rights to these games. So, but with MAME, the emulator itself is not illegal, but acquiring ROMs, that can be. But again, you're given like the game, so it's fine. But the X Arcade is a fantastic solution because it's totally authentic. The trackball is perfect, the joystick is perfect, the buttons are perfect. But you need to set up like a computer to plug the thing into, and like me, I try to find a actual arcade cabinet to put it in and put my monitor in, and those used to be pretty easy to find, like around $500, but those are gone. So now if you want something like that, it's $3,000 because it comes with a PC and a monitor and like a maid service. I don't know what it comes for $3,000. So that is a solution. X Arcade.
Okay.
X Arcade. The final solution that I wanted to discuss
Damn.
is actually putting an arcade cabinet in your house. Like, this is a bit more doable than what you would think. I have 2, and this is why my marriage is in shambles. I have a Miss Pac-Man cocktail, which has been refurbished. So there's I don't know where the dude got it from. There's a guy local around here, Castle Arcades. He does restorations on arcades and pinball machines. So he restored a Miss Pac-Man from like a Showbiz or something. So it's new paint, new glass, new art, new controls, and they're obviously a bit more expensive. They're about $2,000. I've seen a Donkey Kong recondition that was $3,000. They get expensive, but they'll last you for 40 years because all the capacitors have been redone. The monitor is fresh, or it could be an LCD monitor, which I don't like. Buttons are new. Cables are new, art on the side is new. There's a lot of websites like Mike's Arcade and Arcade Buffet where you can get new art to take an old unit and turn it into a new one. Which brings me to my last thing that you can do. So if you don't want to spend $2,000 where someone else does a refurbish for you or restore, that's the word, restore, or restoration for you, you can buy an old junky cabinet from some dude and do the restoration yourself. Yeah. So that was my final cabinet. That's what I did with my Donkey Kong. I found a guy who was like, I don't want this Donkey Kong anymore, and he sold it to me for like a few $100. Super dirt cheap. Like, when he took my money, I was like, I'm taking my wife's minivan and driving away as fast as I can before he figures out what he's done. So I get the thing home, and like, the monitor's kind of squishy on one side, but it's okay after about 5 minutes. The art is good, but there's a couple of like, places that need paint and things like that. Some of the buttons are kind of kind of off. It's completely possible to do this and restore the thing yourself. And it's really cool to get and open it up, get all the dust out, swap out pieces and boards and buttons and cables and art and paint and shimmy and like do the thing yourself.
You don't work with wood much, do you?
No, I do not. So yeah, those are your ways, I think, of putting an arcade at home. So it really comes down to how much time you want to devote to it. If you want the most authentic experience, buy an arcade for a couple $100 from an arcade that's shutting down or wherever and restore it yourself. The easiest solutions are probably the arcade 1-up things. Mm-hmm. Or you could have things like this that are nice and sleek and compact. Or things like this you can put on your keychain.
Cool.
Nice.
I think at least we have a good starting off point now, so.
Yeah, I'd love to know what your solutions are too.
I'll just take this, thank you.
That is not a solution. So those are my solutions for having an arcade game at home. But there's a litany of other devices that you could bring in. What are some of your favorites? What's something that I didn't talk about? What's something more shady that I need to know about? Pandora. Please like, subscribe, put comments down below. Smash on that notification bell to get new alerts when videos come in. And as always, keep gaming. See you next time. Been ripped off. That was not me. That was my daughter when she was very young. She was like, look how far I can peel it back. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, you know, it was nice while that kid lasted.
Yeah, there's others, so, you know, I barely even noticed.
That's why you have more than one.